JP. What's happening, sir? How are you?
Going on, my man? How are you, Matt?
Dude, life is good. Life is good. Good to see you, man. Appreciate you. How
As
was the
well.
weekend?
What was that?
I
Sorry.
said, how was the weekend for you?
Oh, weekend was it was good. It was busy, family stuff, church, stuff around the house, prepping for this week. It was good.
Good deal, man. That's awesome. And I know you just had you either had your last trip of the calendar year or it's coming up, yeah. So you get a little home time.
Well, yeah, that's what I thought. And then I was looking at my calendar, scrolling out, and looked at an event placed on the calendar for the 30th. So one more
You
event this year.
get one more. Good for you, man. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to hang out with us, man, and come here for an hour, man. It means the world. You guys are doing amazing work over there, and we had Pete in here last week. Just freaking great dude. And he's an amazing leader, man. We've had Leif with us. Carlos actually came out to one of my campuses to do a training.
Oh,
Just
nice.
yeah, phenomenal humans, man. You guys are a great crew doing important work. So taking an hour, man, it means the world. Appreciate it.
I appreciate it. Absolutely. Thank you.
And we're gonna dive into all things JP today,
Let's
man.
go.
We want to see what you're excited about, see what kind of things you're wrestling with, and you and I'll chat a little bit. And we've got all these handsome devils in here from around the world that'll jump in for a little Q&A on the back end, man. So, and this will go out to obviously as a podcast. So listeners, JP's an easy man to find. He's a Google search away, and is a leader among leaders. But let's start. Who does JP say JP is? Let's
Uh,
start there.
Well, born and raised in Sacramento, California. JP is for Jeremiah Patrick. A lot of people ask that, so I just kind of get that out there. My aunt Carolyn, my aunt CJ, Aunt Carolyn, she called me JP when I was young, and it kind of like just was able to stick with a lot of family members. And it's funny, I have buddies that I was with in the SEAL teams for almost 12 years that didn't know my first name was Jeremiah. They only knew me
Yeah.
by JP. So, but yeah, I have an amazing family, beautiful wife, twin daughters that'll be 13 in January. Our son is 18. You know, yeah. I mean,
Life is
I don't
good.
know. Like that's a hard answer to
It
a
is.
hard question just to answer, but going into that, it's something that as I think more about my family and my life and what we do, our number one focus as a family is like our relationship together, so strengthening our internal family relationship. And we're really big into serving at a church and serving in different ministries to help out because, growing the kingdom, I think, is one of the most important things that we can be doing.
Mm.
And so that's our focus as a family right now.
I love it, man. That's one of the things I appreciate about you most, and been following along for a little bit is you're undoubtedly out serving humanity with what you're doing on the leadership side. You are, as the chief training officer, you guys have so many things on your plate. You're leading so many people, but you strike me as a guy who it's very clear family and service and God, that it's very clear that you live those principles, and those are the absolute priorities. Everything else comes after that. Uh,
Yeah, I try to make that clear through my actions.
yep.
There's days that it's not as clear and
Yes, sir.
days that I have to remind myself. But in my office, I have a whiteboard. I'm getting ready to get it put up in this new home office, but on the top of it, it says, it's my five things, and for me, uh, it helps me decide what I'm doing and what I'm not doing. And so if something can help me fulfill these five things, then
Mm,
yes. If it takes away from these five things, then I really have to think about it. And usually it's an easy no. But I still think about it because, to be honest, I'm a flawed human. And,
sure.
you still have to, I'm still creating habits to change behaviors and tendencies that need to be changed. And we all have behaviors and tendencies that are great.
Mm,
And we all have behaviors and tendencies that need to be shifted and
yes,
changed.
sir.
The only way you do that is by creating habits. You're not just going to change overnight. It's like, what we do at Echelon Front. If I come speak with a group, people can take that information, but they have to create habits and they have to implement that information to change who they are as a leader.
Right.
Knowledge is not power.
That's
It's
right.
it's not. You can have all the knowledge in the world, but if you do nothing with it, what good is that? You have to make a choice to implement that knowledge.
Mm,
That's where you can actually become powerful and do great things and do powerful things, right?
that's
So
right.
the five for me in this order is be a great Christian, be a great father. I'm sorry, be a great husband, be a great father, be a great member of Echelon Front, and then a great friend. Like that's where it goes. So Christian, husband, father, Echelon Front, friend. And to be honest, the Echelon Front one, it's been like weaving in and out of those top um
The
positions
top
for
five.
the last 8 years because I had to make it a priority over things with the family to get where we're at. There was a
Mm-hmm.
season of my life where there was times where I missed birthdays and anniversaries and games and all this other stuff. And then, and there's dads that will be like, I will never miss a game for my kids. Okay, that's awesome. I
Mm-hmm.
love that. I respect that. However, for me to get where I am and the path for me working with Echelon Front to be able to have an opportunity to be a part of the executive leadership team, it meant that I was going to miss a lot and I was
Mm-hmm.
going to have to. But that choice was given to me. And
Mm-hmm.
it was a choice that my wife and I made together. And she's been on board since day one. And I was the first instructor Jocelyn Lake brought on board 8 years ago. And in the last 8 years, and there's been times consistently, like months and months and months, where I was in 3 to 4, sometimes 5 different cities a week, just gone, gone, gone. And not once has my wife ever complained. Like,
Mm-hmm.
not once. Because she also remembers, like I do, 8 years ago, I was delivering pizzas to make ends meet.
That's right.
And so it's like, okay, well, we can have financial uncertainty, we can have financial burden and stress, or we can just get to work for, and and this is what Jocko said. He's like, hey, 3 to 5 years of just working your butt off, build a team, and then another 3 to 5 after that, once the team's in place, and then you can throttle back if you want. If not, it's whatever you want.
Right.
Well, everything's happened around those stages, and we know, it's about another 2 years, but the last, couple of years have been drastic as in a positive thing. We've been able to buy a house. We've
Mm.
been able to change things in our life. And so, um, there are some people, and, I respect it. People have challenged that when I say that. They're like, well, you've missed anniversaries, you've missed birthdays, you've missed things. And I'm like, you're right, I have.
Mm.
But my wife and I had alignment. And if my wife was to ever push back on anything, we would sit, we would talk, we would get alignment, and we'd move forward. And
Yeah.
I don't, I say this, and I don't take it light. Like my wife is gangster,
Yeah, man.
and people use that term. I don't think they really understand. I'm not
Yep.
talking about like gangbangers. Like I hate gangbangers, dude. Like gangbangers are punks.
Yep.
My wife is gangster because she doesn't complain. She
Mm.
works hard. She takes care of our kids. She's super supportive. Like this last weekend, we were at a ministry event that I was serving at. So I went to it in February of 2022. It was a complete game changer for our marriage, our family, my walk with the Lord. Absolute game changer. It's called Walking in Truth Ministries that my buddy started, and the event is called Pursuit for Truth, which is
Mm.
pretty cool. Like when you're thinking about that, like you're
Mm.
pursuing a closer relationship with the Lord.
Mm.
Anyways, so I was serving at this last weekend. Well, one of the guys from our jujitsu gym wanted to be able to go. He raises his daughter solo. Well, the Lord put it on her heart and my heart separately for us to watch his daughter so that he could go to this event that I was serving at. Sounds awesome, but that's an inherent risk. You're bringing somebody into your house that you don't know well. You don't know what type of spiritual things that they're holding on to.
Yep.
Now, we have that authority over our households from the spiritual aspect, but for my wife to do that and just be like, "Yep, hey, I know the inherent risk, but if this can help this guy
Mm.
fix and change his life and actually receive salvation, and then
Mm.
that's what we should do as Christians." And I was just like, yeah, you're right. Okay. And I'll tell you what, man, it's not my story to share because it's his, but uh I mean, I'll let anybody who wants to reach out to me. We can dive deeper into the spiritual aspect, but whatever you've done, whatever you partnered with, any of that baggage you hold, it goes to your kids.
Yes, sir.
And I will tell you right now, as he was working through things and getting rid of things, things were manifesting with her.
Mm-hmm.
And my wife and kids handled that the whole weekend without me gone.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, and so I share that story because my wife is supportive on all ends. And
Yeah.
that's what's important, is about having unity and having alignment with those goals. And those five things that are in order, she has alignment with that. It's what
Mm-hmm.
we focus on together. So it's a
Dude,
little bit about who I am
it's
and
so good.
the amazing wife and family I have.
It's so good, man. So there's a number of things in there that I want to touch and that I relate to so dang much. We had our Apogee reunion just over a week ago. We were in Texas for a few days and just getting as many people from the tribe together as possible. And we had one of our nights. We had our year two guys. We had a mentor dinner, and a handful of guys that have been able to come in as guest mentors and to come on the show and talk to our men. And one of the guys named John Wellborn. John, played in the NFL for a number of years. Was one of the early guys on CrossFit. Developed CrossFit football. He's strength and conditioning, just absolute stud, legend, brilliant human being, one of the smartest individuals I know. Was
Wait,
just
he's the one that started CrossFit football, right?
yeah, man, that's
I
exactly
used to follow his programs when I was prepping for Green Team with Aaron.
okay. Nice, yeah. He's a absolute stud,
Dude,
absolute stud, and he's got his master's from Berkeley, and he's one of the smartest guys, which makes him even scarier, because he's this big beast of a human. So John was in there, and I've known John for a number of years, and he's been nothing but an amazing guy, and he's also been very a staunch anti anything to do with religion guy from the like the intellectual standpoint, right? Like he's kind of been there. So he comes on with us, did a great job in here, and he came to this dinner this last week, and he's like, "Man, I'll tell you what. Part of that call with you guys, it started getting me diving deeper. Maybe it's I'm getting older, maybe whatever." But he goes, "Man, this whole spiritual thing. I think there is this good and evil going on, man. I can't explain it any other way." And he's like, "Man." So he's diving in on that too, right? This spiritual side, man, that we're talking about. I think we do a lip service, we give it the cliches, but this is a real battle, man, and it's
it's
manifested through our family.
it's real, 100%. And I actually led one of my buddies to Christ through just having this conversation. He was having a rough time. We hadn't talked since high school.
Yeah,
He reached out to me on Facebook. I mean, I literally hadn't talked to him legitimately since high school in 2001.
yeah,
I get a Facebook message from him, and I respond. And I don't ever check my Facebook, and it was just like one of those God things where I'm like checking messages, and I'm like, oh, I was like, hey man, I'm gonna be in the car. If you want to jump on a call, I'm driving back from Houston. Let's jump on.
yeah,
4 hours later,
yeah,
we're talking through stuff, and
yeah,
the thing that opened up, I was like, hey, do you believe in good and evil?
yeah,
And I was like, do you believe in spiritual warfare? He goes, well, I mean, he goes, brother, he's like, we've both seen evil. He was a Marine,
yep,
served when the war kicked off. And he's like, I've seen the devil's face, and I know evil exists. I
mm,
said, okay, I do too. Um, I said, so what's the opposite to evil?
mm,
He's like, good. I'm like what? Like what's good? What's the opposite? He goes, well, like good. I'm like, no, 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 come on, man. And so it was able to open
mm,
the door.
mm,
Able to open the door because here's the deal. Men out there know that we're in a spiritual battle.
mm,
Whether you're a believer, whether you are saved, there
mm.
is a very real spiritual battle going on right now, and men need to be equipped to be able to identify it, handle it, fight it, and lead their family. That
Right,
is undeniable right now. There's an attack on our children, there's an attack on our marriages, there's an attack. And we have to understand what's in front of us so that we can fight it. You have to know who and what your enemy is before
yeah,
you can come up with a legitimate game plan to take the fight to them.
that's right, dude. So I'm getting freaking chills over here. So because one of the things, one of the things you're talking about is that those five priorities, right? And you said, I want to be a great this, I want to be a great this, I want to be a great this. And so whenever, and I love that, and I always have, as we have our men here, and as they're laying things out like that, I was like, cool. Define what each one of those means, though, and define it in a way like you were talking earlier. Define what that looks like and what it absolutely doesn't look like. Define both of those, right? And so if you're going to be a great follower of God, what you said, knowledge is potential. It's potential, but you got to apply the knowledge
Yeah.
in order to get something from it. And what God says very clearly is Yisrael means somebody who contends with, engages with, continues to engage with my word, right? And continues to pursue me, pursue who I am, ask the hard questions. That's part of that definition. And then bringing it back full circle to what you're saying on the family side, man, I love it. And I refer to my wife as the exact same thing. There were many years as we were building campuses, as we were building Apogee, there were years where I was on 200 plus flights a year, right? Like going out and speaking. I'm in a new city, all that, like you said, and she's home holding it down, no complaints, running the show. And it's just like, cool. Then what do we need to do and why are we doing it? Like that, dude, there is such an aversion, I think, sometimes to leading in that way because we are being sold that, look, if you're not with your kids 24 hours a day, if you're not sleeping in their bed and you're not patting them on the bottom while they're at school, hey, you're not a good dad. It's like, nah, we don't need to go, like, that's not the way to roll either, man.
Yeah, I know, and trust me, like the last 8 years, I know what I've missed, and it breaks my heart.
Mm-hmm,
It
mm-hmm,
really does. It
mm-hmm.
breaks my heart when I look at Aiden, who's 18,
Mm.
and I know what I've missed,
Yep.
but I know what I can give him now.
Yes, sir.
I know what I can give him, and I can be more intentional with my time.
Yes, sir.
I can go and do things, and I don't ever like to share this, and I probably won't ever share this publicly outside of this group. And I don't care that you're going to post it, that's fine. But there is a sense of pride knowing that when my wife was like, hey, it's really important that we can take a trip to Hawaii with my family because her aunt, who battled cancer and won and beat it, thinks
Mm-hmm.
it might be coming back, said, I'd like to go before I can't enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
And I can say, cool, let's book it.
Let's do it.
And I'm able to take my family of five, my in-laws, and my aunt to Hawaii and cover that trip without any financial burden to my family. No stress.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that to brag to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me uncomfortable to say this out loud because that's not who I am at all. Like anybody that knows me knows that like I was legitimately delivering pizzas 8 years ago. I still have that hat in my closet. I walk into my closet, that hat is right there. But
Mm.
the only reason why I say that is it's been 8 years of working and working and working and showing my kids what it takes
Yes, sir.
to be able to do stuff. I think it's very important that men show their kids what hard work will bring to you.
Mm.
It doesn't matter what you do. It means to me, like people get wrapped up in like, well, I got to make this money. Okay, cool. If you can, awesome. To me, it's never been about the money. That's not what success is. Success is, hey, you know what? I wake up happy. I'm living a successful life because that means that my marriage is good,
Mm.
that my kids are happy. That means I have a good relationship with my wife. I have a good relationship with my kids, and I love going into work. I see a first responder on here. I work with first responders all the time.
Mm.
Think about that. It's like when I was in the military. I was in the military to make money. I did it because I love my job. Our first responders aren't in that industry to make money. They're
Right.
doing it because they love what they do. And if they have a sense of fulfillment and purpose every single day, well, he's beating 99% of the men out there
Mm.
because of his purpose and his mission. And he
Mm.
can wake up happy with a good marriage and a good family. It's not a money thing. And that's why I don't like sharing what I just shared because I think there's too many douchebags on social media that are flaunting all the money, money, money BS. It's
Yep.
all fake anyways, most
Yep.
of the time. But I share that because I was able to have a man-to-man conversation with my son. My wife and I had a conversation, and then I was able to sit him down and explain to him, hey, this is why we do what we do, to take care of family.
Mm.
This is a once in a lifetime trip for our family, for your grandparents, for your aunt. I want you to understand what it takes. And
Mm.
I told him what it cost,
Mm.
just so that he could be like, okay,
Yep.
okay,
Yep.
and he got it. The whole time we were there, we were doing stuff. He's like, I don't know, that's he was looking for like the cheaper options to do stuff, and he was very intentional in everything that I had, and so it was cool to be able to have that conversation with him. And now at Echelon Front, as a chief training officer, we run all of our hands-on scenario-based leadership training, and
Mm.
he's been able this since he graduated to be able to be a role player. So he comes out as a role player, and it was cool because the guys were like, "Hey, what about Aiden?" And I was like, "That's on you guys. I'm not gonna say, hey, give my son a spot.
Mm.
Think he can earn it, give him an opportunity." I said, but treat him like every new person. You got to train him, you got to equip him, and if he does a good job, then you can keep working him. If not, let's do some remedial training, and then we'll get him. And I was like, but this is just like anybody else that helps, and it's cool because now I have guys that are former Green Berets, former SEALs, current SEALs, SWAT operators, current Denver. One of my guys that comes out, he's a full-time Denver SWAT operator,
Oh, wow.
a role player, former Green Beret. These are the guys that are mentoring my son.
Yeah, man.
These are the guys that he gets to be around, and they're teaching him about, hey man, if we say we're meeting at 4:30 in the morning to load the gear, that means the gear needs to be loaded by 4:30. So
That's right.
that you need to be there by what time?
That's right.
4:50. Okay, cool. So you're going to be at my room at what time? 4:10. Okay, cool. They're teaching him how to think, not teaching him what to think. And that's what good leaders do, is
That's
they
right.
teach people how to think, not what to think. And that does, as fathers, that's exactly what we should be doing as fathers, is teaching our kids how to think, and teaching them how to read the word with intent. And it's one of the things that I love that I was able to bring back from that event pursuit is the promise principle. It changes how you read the Bible. There's a book called The Promise Principle, and basically, as you read scripture, you look at it and you ask yourself, is this a commandment or is this a truth? And
Mm.
sometimes it's a little bit of both, right?
Mm.
And it might be a commandment, it might be a truth. My Bible's out in the kitchen, but I can grab one of the other ones. I'll give you an example. Like, let's say, okay, we'll just go like today's the 16th. So Proverbs 16.
Mm.
All right. So, you know, Proverbs 16, the heart, the plans of the heart belong to man, but the answers of the tongue is from the Lord. All the ways of a man are pure in his own eyes, but the Lord weighs the spirit. Commit your work to the Lord and your plans will be established. Is that a commandment or a truth?
Mm.
Commit your work to the Lord and your plans will be established. It could be both.
Mm.
But so for me, I'm like, okay, maybe I'm like, that's a truth. That's telling me that if I commit my work to the Lord, my plans will be established. Okay, so then I read that, and if I read that as a truth, as I read that verse, and then I pray, hey, Lord, thank you for this truth. I pray that will give me, the ability and the courage, or whatever it is, right? Whatever it is that you need to go through and do it, like that's what you pray. You receive it as a blessing, right? So when it's the truth, you're like receiving as a blessing. If it's a commandment, you're asking for the strength to be able to fulfill those commandments and to work through it. And so when I did that, and it was just like now being able to like teach our kids that, like, hey, when you read the Bible, this is how you read with intent. Because
Mm.
as parents, I don't know about you guys, but I've made the mistake of like telling my kids, hey, pray with intent, read the Bible with intent, study with intent, work out with intent.
What does that mean?
But what does that mean? Like you,
That's right.
oh, sorry, you actually have to teach people how to do those things. And that's what we do at Echelon Front.
Yeah.
We teach leadership because leadership is a skill set. Everything that's required for you to be a great leader can be taught.
Mm.
And too often people forget where they came from And one of the things I love to say, Matt, is you weren't always the rock star that you think you are right now. A good
Hmm.
little reminder, like, we always forget, like, hey, you weren't as good as you really think
Right.
you are. So it forces us to step back and show a little humility,
Mm.
a little bit of empathy, right? Like, let's say if I go through the police academy and I'm the new rookie working with David. What is he gonna have to do with me? He's gonna have to train me. He's gonna have to equip me. He's gonna have to teach me how to operate within the parameters that I'm allowed to operate within. And
Mm.
he's also gonna have to show me a lot of patience, grace, and
Yes.
empathy because I'm new. I don't know what he knows. He's probably been doing this, about 15, 17 years, if I was to guess. Am I close?
Yeah, 13 years.
Okay, I shot a little high. All right. So yeah, he's been doing this for 13 years. That's incredible. 13 years of law enforcement, like 13 years of experience of serving his community. The knowledge that David has, I can't comprehend that right now in regards to law enforcement because I've never been exposed to it.
Mm.
And so that's why we as leaders, we as men, as husbands, and as fathers, we have to do the same thing with our kids. And we have to be very intentional about how we pour into them. The whole because I told you so is an epic leadership failure.
Mm-hmm.
If your kids are asking you, hey, why are we doing this? It's because they legitimately want to know why.
Right.
Now, occasionally there's that little bit of that attitude pushback, and okay, I'm willing to bet you might have done the same. Okay. Yeah, Davis, yeah, old school mentality. Yeah, but unfortunately, like that's what we were taught, and that's what they were taught. It's a generational thing. Well, hey, guess what? I know like you can break that generational curse
Right.
of just, hey, that's the way I speak to my kids, and that's how I speak to my wife. And I think as men in this nation, we need to do a better job with our communication.
Yeah,
If
it's an obligation.
communication was simple, clear, and concise, and it had empathy, grace, and forgiveness tied into it, I think we would be in a much better place.
A much better place. And there's so much respect to the way that you're doing, right? That to me, when we aren't willing to, and with Aiden, right? If you weren't willing to sit down and go, look, here's what this Hawaii trip is about, and here's all the work, here's all the sacrifice, here's why we did this so that we can have this, here's how much that costs, here's the fact that you are laying that out for a young man is respecting his ability to understand that. I think it's so disrespectful when it's not just the disrespect of like, do what we say and it doesn't matter and I'm not going to give you any, not just that, but you're not giving them the benefit of the doubt that they're going to be able to understand and comprehend that.
Yeah.
They'll get it. That's a service to them. Again, you're not telling them what to think. You're saying, look, this is why I've done this. Same thing on our side. I mean, we have 13, 11, and 8. And they know what everything looks like. They know where the money comes from. They know how much money we give, who we give it to, how we serve, how everything flows. Like, and they may not fully comprehend all of it, but it's a normal conversation. So they have that because I respect them enough to make sure they know, like, look, this is normal for us. This is what we've decided is normal. I
Yep.
trust you that you're gonna get this concept. And if you've got questions, you can come to me and ask. That's respectful.
Yep.
Right? That's what leadership's supposed to be.
I love that you said that. It's showing your kids respect.
Mm-hmm.
You're teaching them how you do things, and you're showing them what good looks like. I love it. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what we should be doing as leaders is,
That's right.
think about like what Jocko did in our task unit. There was times when we were doing our workup. I'm one of the youngest and one of the most junior ranking guys in our task unit. And he would pull me in and he'd pull Ryan Job in from Charlie's platoon, like the two junior ranked guys, pull us in and be like, all right, hey, here's what's going on. You guys are in charge. You're going to plan this mission. And we're like, what? But that's what good leaders do is they bring their young junior leaders up into those positions. That's what you should be doing. And
Mm.
and as fathers, we should be doing that in all phases.
Bingo.
And it's I think like for what my dad did with me, and my dad was phenomenal. I had a great father, and there's just a lot that he didn't know to teach me.
Sure.
And I think like I'm just more mindful of that now. And I'm sure he was very mindful of that as well, because there's a lot that his dad didn't teach him because
Mm.
they just didn't have a good relationship growing up.
Yep.
And so he was very intentional about us having a good relationship. And, he taught me, all the things like how to change the oil, how to check the oil, how to do the maintenance on the vehicle, how to, change out the tires and do a flat and all that other stuff. But, never taught me how to balance a checkbook, never taught me the importance of, putting money aside and investing and stuff like that, because my parents didn't do that. They didn't know that stuff. And there's nothing wrong with that. This is not a
Yep.
dishonor
Yep.
to my parents at all.
Yep.
You can't teach people things that haven't been taught to you.
Right.
And I'm very thankful for. My dad taught me how to work your butt off.
Mm.
I'm telling you right now, there is not one man I have ever met out on a job site that could keep up with my dad. I would come home, Matt, on leave. I'm active in the SEAL teams. I'm in really, really good shape. And I would struggle to keep up with him on a job site doing brick and block work. Now, I know part of it was like, hey, he's going to up it because I'm there. And that was great because we had that great friendship and that relationship. But I think of it as of what we should be doing is like what my parents did. My parents taught me everything that they could, and they were more intentional with it because of their upraising. And now as I am raising my kids, it's like, all right, cool. I need to teach them how to work hard. I need to teach them to do all these things that my parents taught me. And then what else? Like what else can I add to it?
Right.
And again, I want to be very clear. That's not a disrespectful thing or dishonoring to my parents at all. I'm just so like intentional with like what they taught me is making sure they have that. But then I also have to switch over here and be like, hey, how do I add to it? Like, what do I need to add
How do
to
we
it?
get better?
Yep.
And sometimes that's a simple question. And gentlemen, speaking of questions, you guys can get your hands up anytime. I'll start bringing you guys in here in just a sec. But sometimes that's also admitting what we don't, which I have gotten better at over the years. There was far too long where I did not do that well. But admitting the things that I don't know and just joining them in curiosity around that. Right. Like I'm going to set this up a little better. I know a little more and I can pass that down to my family. Also, I wish I knew this. I wish I was able to pass this down. So can I at least pass along my curiosity in this regard to them and say, I think this is important for us to know. Hey, maybe we all go learn this together, right? That's a part of leadership too.
Yeah. And yes, let's go learn this together. Also very important, who you associate yourself with.
Yes, sir.
Who's a part of your circle, your tribe, family, your friends, right? And you should have people in your lives that, obviously there needs to be unity on your thoughts and your beliefs and all those things, but also that bring more to it than you bring.
That's right.
I think that's really important.
That's right.
And I just think about like the men and women that my kids get to learn from and be around, and I'm just like, man, this is huge. Like this is huge for them. And I think that's another thing that we have to be very intentional with. And that's what I love with what you guys do. It's pretty incredible.
Yeah, amazing humans together, man. That it, we all say it. It's the five people you spend the most time with, and like, man, I agree. The people you spend time with, the tribes that you are around, the people you are intentionally being exposed to, that matters. And hey, by the way, why would that not matter for our kids too? Right? I mean, they're not different, man. They are human beings. So I'm gonna bring these guys in here in just a second, but I'm gonna just super quick personal. Dude, where did you go to high school? In Sacramento.
Del Campo.
Del Campo. So you were just after Matty Barnes then, not too.
Yeah, Matt Barnes was a senior when I was a freshman.
A freshman. Okay.
Yeah, I actually knew Matt Barnes pretty well.
Yeah.
His sister Danielle was in my grade. His younger brother Jay was 1 year younger than me.
Yep.
One of my best friends in high school, Rob Inquist, his sister Haley was a senior, and she was good friends with Matt and all those guys. So I actually I think I was one of the few freshmen that didn't get like, what do they call it, canning? Yeah, cannon,
yeah.
something like that, because Matt and his buddies kind of took care of me for a little
That's
bit.
so funny, man. So, because I'm in North Carolina now, but we just left. Well, I guess it's been 3 years, but the last place we lived was in Loomis. We were all
Oh,
over
yeah.
all over the Sacramento area. My wife and I are both originally Bay Area. So,
Yeah.
Matt, we played against, I got a chance to play against Matt in basketball and got a proper thumping from him. So I know Del Campo well, obviously
That's
knows
crazy,
the
man.
area very well. So,
Small world.
yeah, always is. All right, Mr. Smith, get you in here.
JP, thanks for giving us your time today.
Absolutely, man. Well,
Much
thank you for your
appreciated.
service and everything that you do, brother.
Absolutely.
What area are you PD in?
Chesapeake, Virginia.
Okay. Oh, beautiful area.
Mm.
Yeah, it's nice. So we're at an interesting junction or crossroads on the department.
Okay.
I've spoken with Matt about this. So we've had a lot of our supervisors, lieutenants and sergeants get in trouble, literal integral violations, lose their jobs. It's the reason essentially that I got promoted. So I just made lieutenant in the summer, and just a month ago, I got handed our leadership class for our in-service. So now I have an opportunity to teach all of our supervisors on the department over the course of the coming year a 2-hour block on leadership, which is not a lot of time. So what I'm trying to dive in and do my own research on is where would you start in the 2 hours? I mean, I certainly have thoughts, but like the climate right now is a lot of our supervisors lost their jobs. There's definitely some sort of issue there. And then there's the normal stuff with the police department, the schedule. We have mandatory overtime. So there's morale issues and everything that comes with that. So right now I'm just, boiling down to, is it accountability? Certainly extreme ownership, but where do you start with those 2 hours?
Yeah. So I love that you said accountability, but I want to be clear when we talk about accountability, the best way to implement accountability is to give your people ownership. So if you're thinking of it from like, hey, I have to hold my people accountable, that's you've done a lot of things wrong as a leader. If you're like, hey, I got to hold my people accountable. Accountability is a tool. Don't use it as a crutch. Okay. And so I want you to think about accountability, responsibility, and standards. Your people need to know what that means to them. What are they accountable for? What are they responsible for? And what are the standards that they must maintain? And the best way to drive that is by giving them ownership. Say, hey, here's what we need to be doing as a department. Here's what you need to be doing as an officer. Here's why. How do you want to get that job done?
Mm.
What does winning look like to you? This is what we need to accomplish. How do you want to do it? And when I ask that simple question, what am I giving them? I'm giving them ownership.
Mm.
And you know what improves morale? When people feel like they're a part of the plan. When people have ownership and buy into something, the morale will increase. Now, I'm not going to say it's going to drastically change the culture right away, but there's going to be some improvements. And then I would reiterate, hey, this is a one team, one fight mentality here. One team, one fight. We are working through these things together. It's not this shift versus this shift. It's not us versus a city. It's not us versus that different department. It's not us versus fire or us versus the federal. No. We have all sworn an oath to protect our communities, and we are going to be the department that focuses on relationships. That's what we do. We are going to have really good relationships with every single person we interact with. We are going to be the ones that go out of our way to build the relationships. Because at the end of the day, it's one team, one fight. And so that's going to be my baseline. Like that is the foundation, if I were you, that I would be building this upon. Okay. Now the next one is talking about how we do that, right? Okay, so how are we going to do these things? How are we going to communicate? How are we going to get alignment? Well, guess what, guys? Our communication, we have to work on that because communication is a problem with most organizations. We are going to be intentional with our communication, which means that our tone, tact, delivery, and the timing of our conversations is something that we're going to think about. We have to be intentional with our conversation. Hey, one of the things that we do here is a read back. So anytime that I sit down with you guys and we have a meeting or a brief or a plan of the day or anything, I'm going to call upon a few of you to brief back to me what we talked about. So you guys should always have something to take notes with, because if we're in a meeting or plan of the day or any type of little get together, you should be taking notes. And the reason why is it's going to be hard to retain everything. And taking notes, it's a tool that allows you to brief back to me what we talked about so that we can maintain alignment. The intent behind the read back is for my communication to get better. This is a test for me, but I want you guys to also be doing a read back, right? So you're teaching these guys what we do and what they should also do. Now, let me ask you a question, David. If you're sitting in on that meeting and now I'm telling you, like, hey guys, after every meeting, I'm going to have a few of you brief back to me what we just talked about. Do you think naturally guys are going to be a little more bought in, listening and taking notes?
Maybe a few people.
Yeah, cool. Is that a win?
Sure.
Okay, cool. What's the intent behind it? It's for my communication. So a few more people being actually a little more bought in and actually listening, that's a byproduct. That's a win. The read back is about your communication being simple, clear, and concise so that it's understood so that they can go execute the work. Now, this is going to be a slow shift within the culture. It's going to be a slow shift. And you know why I know this? Because of your answer. And I'm not calling you out, because every other organization I talk with and I ask that question, the answer is, yep, everyone's going to be more bought in. You said maybe. And the reason why, it's a cultural problem within your department. Because you already know that there are still going to be people that aren't bought in, that aren't going to listen because they have a bad freaking attitude and they're pissed off, and it's a culture problem that you get to clean up, which is great.
Yeah.
Again, that wasn't me singling you out in a negative manner. But
No, I'm with you.
your response told me everything I need to know about your department.
It's
It's an opportunity that you have. You know what I mean?
It definitely is an opportunity. Yeah,
Okay.
jumping on it because it's
Right.
definitely an issue that needs to be addressed. One more question: How much of leadership do you believe is self-leadership? Is 100% leadership is self-leadership?
Explain that question a little bit more.
Like if you're leading yourself first and putting your best self forth in all of these areas.
Yeah, you have to lead yourself before you can lead others, but you're driven by taking care of other people. And so it's a hybrid. You know, when I checked in the SEAL teams, it was made very clear that the number one priority is to take care of your teammates and to take care and to accomplish the mission. Well, those are two number one priorities. How do we do that? I know somebody's thinking it right now, but that's what I was told. Hey, your number one priority is taking care of your teammates and accomplishing the mission. Okay, well, those feed each other. Because if I'm focused, David, on if I'm focused on taking care of my people, and if that's all I think about is taking care of my people, being a good teammate, you know, just, hey, the team gear, my buddy's gear before my gear. Like if that's what I'm always being told and that's what I'm thinking, what do we tend to accomplish? The mission. And if my focus is accomplishing the mission, or getting the job done, I got to accomplish the mission. In order for me to do that, who do I have to take care of?
Right.
My people. And so if I were you, I would start off with the things that I talked about in regards to, hey, here's what we're doing, here's why. That's decentralized command, okay? But decentralized command doesn't work without the first three laws of combat, which is cover, move, simple, and prioritize and execute. So I would make those four things very clear to your department for what they look like and be driving ownership. That's what I would be focused on. And I would also make sure that they understand your intent is to lead and help them win. That it should be very clear that your intent as a leader is for them to win. And part of that is you driving them to step up and lead, and then you empowering them to step up and lead themselves. And some of these people need to hear that. You can't assume these people that are working for you know what good looks like. You can't assume that they're a part of groups like this. You can't assume that they've read Extreme Ownership, Dichotomy of Leadership, Leadership Strategy and Tactics, and all the other great leadership books out there. You should look at it from the standpoint of like, oh, they're brand new and they know nothing. And it's my opportunity to teach them these things. But at the end of the day, your intent has a smell. And if they don't know that you're there to help them win, you're going to have some problems. And that's why I said one team, one fight at the beginning. Yes, I understand you have a leadership position that you have to maintain, but leadership has nothing to do with your title.
Right.
So you play that balance.
That's right.
What leadership is building relationship and influencing people to go out there and do the work. That's how you lead. So you build relationships. The greatest way to build a relationship is show someone that you trust them, listen to them, respect them, and allow them to influence you. That's what a relationship is. And then ultimately, like I said, your intent has a smell. So if they know that you care, that's a little bow on top and you'll be good to go.
Awesome. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Great opportunity, Mr. Smith. And I'm gonna slap you a little for the very beginning of it, where you say the reason you're stepping in here is because everybody else screwed it up. Sure, they screwed it up, but also because you are leading already anyways.
Yes, sir. I understand that too.
Don't discount that at all. Good man.
Thank you.
Mr. Boren.
JP, thank you so much for taking the time to visit with us this morning. Really appreciate your insight on all this stuff.
I like that old school never settle shirt. Holy
yeah, my man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so I had the honor of meeting you probably about 8 years ago when you moved to this area. And man, I've been following you ever since, and a lot of admiration for your leadership across the board. You know, I'm not a huge social media guy, but I see you leading with your family, leading with Echelon Front, your faith. Man, it's you're doing some killer work. So really a lot of admiration there. So love on your intro. I love how you kind of have that filter you run through your 5 things and kind of expounding on that further. I know you travel a bunch, you're busy, and you use each part of your day, you're kind of running through that. But do you have a framework that says, you know, no matter what, I'm getting this done today? So kind of a bucket list for each day of, if nothing else happens, I'm taking care of this. Is there any framework you use to manage your schedule and kind of be a leader in each of those areas?
Yeah, if it's on my calendar, it's a non-negotiable. And so I put everything in my calendar. Like I even will put little spots in my calendar that it'll just say, you know, default aggressive for an hour, like an hour block. It just says default aggressive. And that's for me just to get after it with personal stuff. Like, hey, I got to help my wife with these things. I need to do these things. I put my kids' jujitsu in there. Everything that needs to be done gets put in my calendar. Because when I put it in my calendar and then I write it down on my physical calendar, to me, that now becomes a non-negotiable. Now, I know somebody's thinking about it. Well, something's going to happen. You're going to have to push stuff back. You're right. That's going to happen. And it does happen sometimes. But for me, if it's in the calendar, it is a top priority to be working on those things. Echelon Front also sells a thing that I use. It's now, next, later. And so that's how I line stuff out. Like the now stuff, that's happening today. Next, cool. These are things I want to get done this week. Later, that's kind of like, hey, within the month or a couple months, it's on my radar. I don't know about you guys. Like, I mean, Scott, I know what you do, and thank you for your service as well. You got a lot of stuff going on. If I don't write things down, it goes away. You know, like those things, like they go away. And there's a lot. Like I will text business partners. You know, I have Echelon Front, and then I have 2 other side businesses. And so if it's a thought, I will text them, hey, for us to talk about tomorrow, or hey, for us to talk about later tonight, or hey, just as a reminder later this week. Like I'm constantly doing that. I use technology to my advantage. Like I'm old school. I like to write things down because that's the way I work. But I also use like my phone to its advantages, right? Like I have this phone, it's a tool. So I put stuff in my calendar, but I also use the like the little reminder thing on your iPhone. So I'll type in like a reminder to do thing, and then I'll add to it, hey, when I connect to Apple CarPlay, call this person. So for me, it's like, oh, this is a call that I can do while I'm driving that I don't have to take notes, or my wife can take notes for me while we're driving. And she does that. Like I said, like we're a team. There has been times where I've been driving and my wife with her phone, she'll record it so that later I can listen to it and take notes, or she'll drive so that I can be on the call and have my laptop in my lap taking notes. So it's just making the most of whatever situation is in front of you. This is one thing I love to say. You can make excuses or you can make things happen. You can't do both.
Right.
And that's why people like, I remember like, I took this as like a, just like, ooh, I love this. When I started my podcast a little over a year ago, and I told a few of my buddies, one of my buddies is like, how are you going to do that? Like, are you just not going to sleep? And his intent was good, but I took that as a challenge, as a, oh, you don't think I can do this? And I took it as, I like when people are like, oh, that's too hard or it's going to be too difficult. That fuels me to work harder. Like when people are doing a fast and they're like doing a 3-day fast, a 3-day fast isn't a big deal. Like, let's be real. Like a 3-day fast isn't that big of a deal when you decide you're going to do it. And then when it's like day 3 and people are like, oh, I can't wait to eat and blah, blah. And I'm like, I'm now going for 5 days.
Right.
You're struggling at day 3. I'm going for 5. So the only reason why I say that, Scott, is I will also use other people's lack of desire as fuel to be organized, to get after it, and to do what most people don't want to do.
Love that.
Did I answer your question properly?
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
Okay.
No, and some of those are different things I need to work on kind of embracing technology and learn how to better use it. Some great stuff there. As far as the now, next, later, I mean, that's the ultimate summary. I love that. And I want to sidetrack a little bit. So that honor to meet you earlier. When I first met you, probably, I would say it was 8 or 10 years ago. And you really stood out. Your humility, we met you kind of in a weird circumstance, and you didn't know who you were. I was actually reading Extreme Ownership at the time. Had no idea who you were. And just
so we could tell everybody. We could tell everybody. I don't care, bro. Like,
no,
the carbon dioxide monitors kept going off. We had just moved here to Texas. They kept going off in the house. We could not figure out what was going on. And so I was like, all right, so we call the fire department, and fire department shows up, and I'm just like, you've got to be kidding me right now. Like, but I told these guys, I was like, hey man, I don't know what's going on. I can't turn these off. I think there's a leak. What's going on? I just don't want to go to bed. I was just like, I didn't know. And here's the deal. We teach humility at Echelon Front. We teach that humility is the #1 characteristic. And how horrible would I feel if I let my ego get in the way and be like, nope, everything's good to go. Just rip the batteries out. You'll be okay. Yep. And if there's a gas leak in my house and one of my kids died from that, and so it sucked. I was super embarrassed. Freaking these boys roll up, and I'm like,
well, it really spoke a lot of you, because we walk in, none of us know who you are, and we've made that same call hundreds of times. And the guy who answered the door is the capable man who's sitting there like, hey, I know what to do, take care of this. And you were not that. And it stood out to me. And this was, I believe, I don't remember the exact time of day, but we make that call, and it's usually the opposite. It's the guy that should be embarrassed, and you were not. You had, and I didn't, that's where I got this shirt, by the way. You were super kind, still had no idea who you were. And it wasn't until I was reading the next book that I'm like, holy smokes, I know that guy. And so from that meeting, you meet a few people in life, and there's several on this call that stand out. And there was no circumstance. We weren't in there. I had no idea who you were. You weren't telling me who you were. Just a genuine human being, and really enjoyed it, getting to know you, having that opportunity, and following you since then. But you really stood out, and that humility was that #1 part of it. But yeah, there's something different about somebody and the way you carry yourself. So well done, sir.
I appreciate it, man. And yeah, the way you guys handled it made me not feel as stupid as I should have felt.
Oh, I love it, man. I'll tell you what, if every call we have guys like Scotty B show up, the world would be a better place. Scotty, you show up that way too, brother. We all know it.
Thanks, sir.
Yes, sir. Beautiful. Eric, we're gonna go short and sweet, man, because we're coming up on the 4 minutes in the hour. I want to honor Mr. Dinnell's time too.
I just text my 10 o'clock and we can push a little bit over to get all these questions.
Oh man, you're a rock star. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. So Eric, Mikey, Jits, we'll make it nice, succinct.
We're good.
One each. We'll be good.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm on your time right now, Matt. Like I said, I can push. So if this call has the ability to push, I want to honor this opportunity to talk with you and your men. I promise you, we don't have to be done in 4 minutes. I promise.
So grateful, man. So grateful. Thank you for that.
Yep.
Truly. Mr. Tolan.
Thank you, JP. So we're in a month right now where we're looking at creating networks within our community. And so we've got a gentleman like yourself in the leadership environment. So I think about my leadership as a father, and then I look at myself as an opportunity to be a leader within my community. And so I'm curious how you would look at that, how you look at it as a father and a leader of your family, the things that you prioritize to make yourself the best leader of your family, and how you would contrast that as being somebody like myself who's not plugged into anything specific right now, but is looking to build out a network and create change within my community in a positive way, how you would structure that and what that might look like.
Cool. What do you do for a living, sir?
I'm in pharmaceutical sales.
Okay, cool. What do you do for a hobby outside of work?
I'm a Group X body pump instructor at the local downtown Y. I'm part of a jiu-jitsu gym, and I am part of a partnership with Apogee school here as well.
Cool. Well, it sounds like through your work and through the body pump and through jiu-jitsu, like those are 3 legitimate avenues that you can reach and impact people right now. And I would be careful to understand the limitations that you might have legally for work of like how you reach and talk and network with people. But between the YMCA and jiu-jitsu, bro, that's a target-rich environment for providing value, right? Target-rich environment for providing value to other people. And I will say, make sure that you stay genuine with your intent of like, hey, I'm just trying to provide value to grow a community, to grow a network. And, maybe you're the guy at your jiu-jitsu gym that says, hey, once a quarter, we should be doing a family night where we get together, all the families from the gym, we go barbecue, we do something like that. I don't know if your gym does something like that. The gym I train at here in Highlands Village, that's what drew me to training under Formiga at Double Five. Is it's family. Like it's a family. Like we have, we do things all throughout the year, like at the gym and at different areas. And so maybe you're the one that spearheads that. You go get with your professor and you say, hey, one of the things I know is really important is community. And one of the things that would really strengthen your business is if once a quarter we got everybody together just to have fun. Like we get together at a park and we barbecue, we do a potluck here at the gym or something, because for one, we know that will strengthen his gym, because if people feel like they're a part of that family and that community, what are they less likely to do? Leave and go train somewhere else. All right. So one, that's going to help his gym, which helps you continue having good training partners. And that's what I focus on. And in regards to like family and that, it's the same. It's not like I say, okay, when I'm leading my wife, I'm this way. When I'm leading my kids, I'm this way. When I'm leading at work, I'm this way. These leadership principles are universal. It's about how you communicate and how you treat people. It's about building relationships, communicating, detaching from your emotions so you don't make emotional decisions, empowering the people around you, decentralized command, and that's one of the things, like, you don't have to be in a leadership position or a role when you're putting together these potlucks. The problem that most people feel is that they have to take it all on board themselves. No, just facilitate. help facilitate these things. And if people at the gym, if you're getting people together at the gym to get together for a potluck, like, cool, hey, what do you guys think we should do? Hey, what park do you guys think we should go to? You probably know the perfect park. Who gives a crap what park you go to? You know, if I'm like, hey, what park do you guys think we should go to? And Matt's like, hey, there's a park by my house that's awesome. Cool. I like your idea, Matt. Hey, can you take lead on making sure there's a spot there for us? What did I just give them? A little bit of ownership, a little bit of buy-in. It's the same thing you do with your kids. Same thing. Hey, kids, we have all these things that we need to get done this weekend around the house. Which ones do you guys want to take lead on? And you let your kids pick. And you're like, all right, cool. Hey, this is what I'm going to work on. This is what your mom's going to work on. Hey, we're going to all do this one together. Hey, pulling weeds sucks. We've got a bunch of weeds we need. We're going to go do that together. And it's the same thing. This is what we're doing. Here's why. What do you guys think we should do? And just realize that when your kids are doing things, they're not going to do it as good as you think it should be done. But it's an opportunity for you to teach them how to do it the right way. It's the same. It's the same across the board, bro.
I appreciate that. That gives me a good picture. So thank you.
And Mr. Tolan, you know, he's talking about being that facilitator. That is one of those. So guys will look at that specific month because I know what you're talking about, and we're talking about 50 new contacts and really getting out there into the. So guys will look at that and go, okay, shoot, how do I reach out to 50 individuals? You can do that if you want to, and that's nothing wrong with that. But when you facilitate something else, and all of a sudden you're bringing the 50 to you, way bigger on the impact with less time spent, right? Getting that whole thing structured. So there's different ways to look at that, and you're still impacting the same amount of people. So yeah, it's brilliant.
Explain to me the contacts.
I'm say that one more time. I'm sorry.
Explain to me the 50 contacts thing.
So in this month, the challenge is to attempt to find 50 new contacts that you didn't have before, but not just getting a contact for the sake of getting a contact, but rather to create a meaningful relationship potentially moving forward. And it doesn't give anything specific as to why you need that relationship or anything like that, but a meaningful relationship where you might enrich each other moving forward.
Nice. I like it.
Yep. So you're looking to be able to serve 50 new folks. Boy, you facilitate a big meetup around Apogee, Idaho, around the jiu-jitsu gym, whatever that looks like. You've got 50 right there, and you're just like, hey, I'm here to serve. I'm here to help. How can I serve you? Boom. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I like it. Nice.
Yeah.
Thanks, gentlemen.
Cool. Thank you, bud.
Looks like Mikey dropped off too. So I just one more.
I'm
are you there, Mikey? Oh, okay, brother.
Yes,
go
sir. Hey, what's up, JP? How are you, sir?
Good. How are you, bud?
Hey, good to see you. First time, my first interaction with you, speaking interaction was at Combat Business Solutions.
Yep.
I believe it was 2019 in Dallas, right? Yep. And from there, you know, your speech was very profound there. But I followed you, and you get my question. Thank you for everything you've done for us. But listen, here. So I raised my kids, you know, and I didn't have, you know, the father figure all that. So I raised my kids through jiu-jitsu. You know that. You know both of them, right? Brown belt and a blue belt, 20-year-old brown belt. But I paved this path for them to take over the gym, right? And then I opened this one in Canyon Lake for my other son to take over. And comes to find out, neither one of them wanted. They said they came to me and they sat me down. And they said, Dad, I don't want to teach. I want to be a student. And here I am for the last, 3 years, having them teach class and and they weren't really learning from me anymore, and weren't, and I seemed like I failed in that leadership, and we kind of got in a falling out. And anyways, we reconnected two nights ago for the first time in about 10 days, 14 days. And I apologize. I apologize for being a piece of shit being a bad father in a way that I was mad that you didn't follow the path that I laid for you guys. I had it hard. I went to juvenile prison. I didn't have family. Nobody came to visit me for 3 years while I was there. I didn't get a single letter from my family, but here I am. I've done all this for you. Why are you not doing this? Right? Wow. What a bad guy. What a bad father of me. Right? But it's because I was paving this path. So they've gone and done that. So anyways, they're students, and luckily I have my daughter. She has a gym in Houston, so they're training under Alex Lane. They're still on the same team, and went to belt promotions yesterday. And then and I heard keep going. I have a question at the end of this. Yesterday I was at belt promotion, our Saturday belt promotions. There was probably 380 students on the mat under Jeff Mencina, and he promoted his 10th second degree to a guy that one of them was a guy trains under New Wave, right? Trains under Danny here, and he's ready to get his second degree on his black belt. And he wanted to come get it from Jeff Messina. And then he told a story of a guy that started jiu-jitsu with him in 1996, 97, went MMA, left.
Mikey.
And followed full circle, and he came back as brown belt from him. So my question is this, JP. How do we keep these guys with us and not want to go experience these other gyms? Because even the brown belt was like, hey, I wish I wouldn't have gone and done all that. I wish I would have stayed right here in this community I got. And it seems like sometimes we push people out, even of the Apogee circle or even echelon front. Sometimes we don't get a grasp. How do we keep people entertained longer than most men? That's the most men thing, right? We run out, like I say, 3 to 6 months running data. How do we get these guys that are not like us? Obviously, we're a different caliber of person. Everybody on this call, we're trying to do something better, right? How do we get these guys that are most men to be better men? What can we do?
Let them do what they want. Because if I hold on to you, you're going to push back.
Mm.
And if your relationship is super solid and it's genuine and intent, and just the intent behind you wanting them to be good and a better version of who they are, then their loyalty is to you.
Mm.
Like Formiga encourages us to go cross train. He doesn't care where you train. He doesn't care. And if you tell your students, hey, you're not allowed to go cross train at other gyms, you're going to lose people.
Oh no, I don't do that. I just
I know you don't. But what I'm saying is that's the thought process.
Yes, sir.
Who cares what they do? You're wasting energy on things you can't control. If you took that energy and focused it on just really good relationships and showing intentionality and that you care and you're building them up, they might leave and come back, or they might leave and go somewhere else that was better for them. They might leave and it might be the best thing for you. You can't waste energy on things you can't control. Here's the things that you can always control: your attitude, your work ethic, your integrity, and your discipline. Those 4 things you can always control. Now, the cool thing about those 4 things is you can also influence those upon the people around you. Those things can also be easily influenced. So if people around me have a really good attitude, I tend to have a better attitude. If the people around me have a really bad attitude, I could trend towards bad attitude, or I could choose to influence them with my positive attitude. So these people that want to leave are going to leave. Okay. Don't waste energy on it. Show them that you care about them. Show them that you want the best for them. And it starts with right now. It's not when they leave, or it's like if they want to leave and now you're focusing all your energy on bringing them back. Now that's energy that you wasted that could have been used on the people that were already there. And now you're going to be in this cycle of just like, oh, fighting to bring them back. Oh, someone else left. Now I'm going to go there. Boom. And you're just this constant, no. Focus where you have it right now. Okay. The whole grass is greener on the other side. No, the grass is green where you water it. Where do you put your focus? And put your focus on the people that you have now. And if it comes up in a conversation, be like, oh yeah, my buddies are over at that gym. You're like, oh man, that's a great gym. Hey, you have the opportunity to go cross train there with your buddy. You should do that, because it'll give you a look on your jiu-jitsu. You'll see the holes in your game going and training over there. And then you can come back and tell me what you did well and what you struggled with, and I will help create a better game for you. Yeah, you should definitely go cross-train there. What type of confidence does it also show your people? Remember, all those things that I talked about are contagious, but it's also very apparent to the people around us.
Mm.
Desperation has a smell as well. I'm not saying you're desperate. Don't hear me that way. Don't
Yes,
hear
sir.
that.
Yes, sir.
But the people that are like, you're not allowed to cross train and they're scared and afraid, people know that they're scared and afraid.
Mm-hmm.
You know who people want to train with and be with and live with and do life with? Bold, confident people.
Beautiful.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, and as far as your kids, they're your kids. They're going to rebel. They're going to push back. Let them do what they want. And when you show them the lifestyle that teaching jiu-jitsu and running a jiu-jitsu can provide them, and they see the impact and the value, then they might choose that. And if they don't, find students that you have that want that and empower them and give somebody hope. You know, somebody that helps you teach classes. Be like, hey, you know what? I have this extra gym. Man, I need somebody to run it one day.
Mm.
And then if someone's like, really? You're like, yeah, I don't know who it's going to be, but it could be someone like you. I'm trying to figure out who that, you know, and you could do the same thing. And, you know, somebody else gets to run it. You're not giving it to them, but they get to run it. And if your kids come back one day, they're like, yeah, I want to run the business. You're like, cool. Here's how you earn it.
Here's how you earn it.
Mm. What do you think, Mikey? A lot of wisdom right
Thank you,
there.
sir. Thank you very much.
Remember, nobody likes to be force fed. It doesn't matter.
That's right.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes, sir.
Mike, I know you like steak, right? And I'm an owner in a Texas beef company. If I was like, hey, Mike, you're going to eat steak tonight, you're going to be like, all right, cool. But if tomorrow night I'm like, hey, you will eat a steak tonight, even you're going to be like, I don't know, maybe I want chicken instead.
Yeah.
For sure.
I've heard of salad. What does that look like tonight? Yeah.
Thank you, JP.
All right, sounds good. I think one more.
Sorry for the long question, man.
No, you're good.
A lot
It
of
was good information. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Guys, last one right here. Dr. Yee will get you in here and we're gonna wrap so we can honor time here.
Well, JP, thank you for the extra time. I was really connected to you, sharing about your faith in Christ, and you even, you just mentioned leading someone to Christ, and me being part of this Apogee community. Matt, everyone else knows, like, I was a pastor for 27 years. I could be a little preachy on this platform, so I'm just saying, I want to learn from you, JP. Like, I just can't help but want to tell people about Jesus, and yet I want to respect everyone's unique spiritual beliefs, very divergent within the Apogee community. I want to help each man as they're pursuing their own truth, So tell me what you learned being part of Echelon Front, everything you're doing, different people with different beliefs, their own belief of God, and yet your own passion and conviction about Jesus is the only way. Like, I want to be a good contributing member to Apogee. I believe I am, but even in other aspects too, like a lot of circles, I'm always wanting people to come to know Jesus, and yet they don't want to follow him, and I want to help them keep climbing, keep improving. But I just think Jesus is the best way to do that, right? So
Yeah.
How are you balancing that of like respecting someone's boundary, like, no, Tim, I'm going to do my own thing, I got my own God, and yet your conviction, like, you just got to speak the truth. So maybe you have an approach that's really been valuable for you in those diverse kind of spiritual, conversations.
Yeah, the two things that are coming to my mind right now as I'm listening to you talk is boldness and confidence.
Mm-hmm.
And, boldness and confidence. I have boldness in my faith and I have confidence in my faith. There's not one person in the world that could tell me that Jesus isn't real and the Holy Spirit isn't real. I have felt the presence of God. I know the Holy Spirit is real. I know that there is no denying. I have had my moments where I have felt God's presence and he's done incredible things. I've had those moments, right? So there's nobody in the world that could tell me that that's not real. So I have boldness and confidence that's undeniable, but I'm not overbearing with it to where I'm like in your face. I share it through normal conversations. And more importantly, this is the biggest struggle I have. The biggest struggle is showing people God's love through my actions.
Mm-hmm.
And so I try to show people through my actions what being a good Christian looks like, and I try to make it appealing. And and if I have the opportunity to have a conversation with somebody, I will take it. If I can open the door, I will do it, but I'm not kicking open the door.
Mhm.
Because if I kick open the door and try to force something, you're going to push back. And that's the worst thing that I can do. Because if I do that, I'm damaging a relationship. And if I don't have a relationship, I can't influence you. If I can't influence you, I can't lead you to Christ.
Mhm.
So I focus on genuine relationships.
Amen.
And I listen to the Holy Spirit. There's times that the Holy Spirit gives me a prompting. Like I just called my buddy the other night. I said, "Hey man, I'm sorry." He goes, "Why?" I said, I was just at that Pursuit event this last weekend. I didn't do a good job getting you to it. I was like, "I'm sorry. You should have been there. You know how it changed my life in 2022. I've served at a handful of these. I haven't gotten you to one. You're coming to the one in February that I'm serving at." And he goes, "All right, send me the link. I'll sign up." And so there's a time and place for that. But guess what? I have a phenomenal relationship with them. Phenomenal relationship. Somebody else I don't have like a really good relationship with, like, let's say like Scott came to my house, right? And he's sitting there and we're just casually talking. I'm going to bring it up like, "Oh yeah, we go to Milestone and Keller and I help serve at this ministry called Walking in Truth, and I'm a part of Jesus in Jiu-Jitsu." That's going to come up in conversations. And if he starts talking about stuff like that, cool. Like the other night, I had something like this happen. Casual conversation. And the guy's like, "I've been looking for something to help bring my faith to the next level." I said, "That's awesome. What are you doing February 6th to the 9th? He goes, I don't know why." I'm like, "Pull up your calendar really quick. Let's see." And he had nothing on there. I'm like, "Put a block. I'm going to send you a text. You should come to this with me." Again, different approach, right? You should come to this with me. I don't have the leadership capital built up with this guy to be like, "You're coming to this event with me." My other buddy, he was like, "Roger that." So it's something we have to gauge based off of the leadership capital that we have built up with somebody. And I want you to think, and this is not just for him, this is for all of us to think about. Every interaction that you have with another human being is either a deposit or a withdrawal in the leadership bank account that you have with them. And you have to be very intentional. Have you been making deposits or withdrawals?
Mhm.
And you need to assume that the deposits you have made aren't as large as you think they were. The withdrawals were always larger than the deposits. So something to think about. Focus on building really good relationships and having boldness and confidence.
Matt, can I jump in real quick for a second?
It's killer. Oh, Joel.
My man, Joel.
So I have worked with JP since 2016, and I've heard him speak dozens and dozens of times. And I think one thing that really stands out to me about him is the radical openness that he shares. And I've seen at musters, we have 1,000 people from every kind of work, every area of the world, every denomination, every religion, and they constantly want to talk to this man because of the radical openness that he shares from the stage. And it's not spiritual openness necessarily. It's just, this is who I am. This is my life. Here's an open, window into what I've struggled with and what I've overcome. And so I just wanted to throw that out there for you, Doctor, that's something that I've seen him over and over and over again, open doors for him to then share his faith or then point them in a direction or point them to better leadership, all of that stuff because of being radically open.
Thank you, Joe. I appreciate it. Doctor, like the last event I was at, we had guys take that approach I was telling you about to invite people out. And one of the guys, he invited his buddy. He's like, "Hey man, I know you've been trying to just get some answers to what's like real in life. You should come to this event." And the dude showed up. He was a practicing Buddhist, left there, saved and baptized. We had another guy show up as an atheist. Same approach. "Hey, I know you've been kind of like trying to figure out what's real in life. You have some hurt from your past," which we all, as men, we all have stuff from our past, right? That we're just like, cool, we're men. We bury it. We just carry it, not realizing that emotional cup has been overflowing on everybody in your life, affecting them. It's another talk for another time, right, Matt? But and this guy showed up and left saved and baptized.
Mm.
And the approach, and this is that we could talk about faith, but this is a universal thing that all of you need to be thinking about as you're trying to grow this community, and the reach and the impact that this program has is boldness and confidence with empathy.
Mm.
People are hurting. People need help. They need support. They need communities. They need strong men in their life that can help guide them and lead them in their marriages, in their families. That's what's so appealing about your guys' program in the schools. It's real. Like, my kids were like, we were frustrated because the one that opened up in this area only goes to sixth grade. And we're like, oh, because they're homeschooling right now.
Mm.
But like, you have to understand, like, the burden that every man on this call carries is real. And you have to be able to carry that burden. You have to. That means that you have to equip yourself to be capable. Desire and capabilities are two different things. Desire and capabilities are two different things. Don't confuse your desires with your capabilities.
Mm.
That's why, as men, we have to be capable every single day. I'm sorry, as men, to be capable every single day, we have to be intentional with our growth and our development and the relationships that we're building around us.
Nailed it.
Amen. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Brother, talk about deposits. This is a massive one, and over and above, man. Over and above. Super grateful. Final thing from us. Obviously, where do we find you? More important to us as a community, how do we best support you? How do we support you and your beautiful family? What's the best thing we can do for you?
Just go out there and be good humans. Be good humans, keep doing what you guys are doing. Obviously, Extreme Ownership, Dichotomy of Leadership Strategy and Tactics are books that, I think are very important that men and women should be reading. You should be reading them solo. You should read them with your significant other. You should also read them with your kids.
Mm-hmm.
If you got young kids, Way of the Warrior Kids series that Jocko wrote. If you want to follow me on social media, it's just my name, JP Dinnell, on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, all those things. And then if you have extra drive time, and you can listen to my podcast. If you need an extra thing to listen to, I know there's so many podcasts out there, but it's crazy. How much God has blessed that podcast. It's crazy. We've actually, the intent was to provide value. And okay, what does that mean for us? When we broke it down, was to build the kingdom, to bring people to Echelon Front, and to share lessons learned and people's stories that can be applied. And we've had people that ended up receiving salvation and being baptized because of the podcast. We've had people sign up for Echelon Front leadership events and come to musters and had us come work with their companies, which is cool. Like, other instructors have gotten work because of my podcast, which is great. It makes me so happy. And then, I've been able to have people on here on my podcast to just to be able to share their stories, which help them actually work through stuff. And then, I don't know, it's just pretty cool.
Rad, man. Doing amazing work, brother. Amazing work. And we owe you. I'm going to take these guys through a debrief here over the next half hour, but I'll reach out to you after that. I want to send you guys a little something, send something to the family just as a small token of appreciation. But man, anything that we can do as an organization, anything that comes up, any way that we get to support you going forward, it's a done deal, man. You just say the word.
Yep. Well, I had one guy ask, I've been driving, is there a link to the February event?
Oh, yeah.
I put it on his. I didn't want to put it in the big group if I don't know the rules, but
you're good. Yep,
pursuitfortruth.com. If you want to check that, just send me a message. If anybody just has questions, like I said, I'm here to help. That event for me changed my life drastically, brought my marriage back where it needed to be. It gave me answers to questions I had, and I was able to work through things that I've been holding on to since high school. And a big one is, it's been, since that event. So it's been 1,000, and I just pulled up this little app on my phone, 1,026 days, no porn. So
my man,
that was a complete transformation for me. Like, just gone. which has been great. Now the temptation knocks at the door because of social media, but to not once entertain it,
yeah, man,
it's huge. And that's been a really cool thing in our marriage. And it's something that I love being able to share with other men and women, is because that is a tool from the devil to ruin everything in your life.
Amen. Oh man, well, I can't wait to get next time I'm out there in that general area, man. I want to find you. I can't wait to give you a big old freaking hug in person.
Let's go, man. Well, I appreciate you guys. Have a blessed day. And Matt, we'll talk soon.
I look forward to it. Thank you, brother.